Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Thanks very much, Lisa, and thanks very much for all of you coming down today. It's a big weekend, not just a big day, but a big weekend. But there's some business to take care of before we get into the weekend. So we thought we would do that first, and then let everybody have fun. I want to first of all thank Governor Rick Scott, and I want to thank Frank Novello of Space Florida, who've been working with NASA for quite some time now to make sure that the Florida Space Coast continues to play an indispensable role in America's civil space program. Their efforts at attracting more commercial partners like Boeing, Bigelow, rocket crafters, Lockheed Martin, and Sierra Nevada to the Space Coast are not only bolstering America's space program, they're bringing jobs and boosting the economy here in the region. And a strong space economy is good for the nation. For more than 50 years, the road to America's leadership in space exploration has run through Florida and the Kennedy Space Center. We intend to build on that success, and we envision an even greater role for the Space Coast as Kennedy transforms into a 21st century launch complex and plays a major role in the most ambitious missions in NASA's history, which include human journeys to an asteroid and on to Mars. Tomorrow marks the official grand opening of the Space Shuttle Atlantis Exhibit at the Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex. And I have not seen it yet, but I have heard from many people that it is absolutely spectacular. So I look forward to seeing it this afternoon. But we're here today, or at least this time, to make it clear that the end of the shuttle program heralds the beginning of a new era in human spaceflight, with much of it happening right here at Kennedy. In fact, with the help of Space Florida and Lockheed Martin, Kennedy's historic operations and checkout facility has been transformed into a final assembly and testing site for the Orion spacecraft, which will carry humans farther into space than ever before and make its first uncrewed test flight next year. In early June, Orion passed a critical series of static load and pressure tests designed to simulate conditions it will encounter in flight. Progress is being made to transform Pad B at Kennedy's Launch Complex 39 to support our heavy lift rocket, the Space Launch System, and other commercial launch vehicles. And this week, at the Marshall Space Flight Center in Huntsville, Alabama, engineers tested the adapter that will connect Orion to the Delta IV rocket that will launch it on its test flight next year. In 2011, NASA announced the establishment of our commercial crew program here at the Kennedy Space Center. Last year, we selected 3 companies, Boeing, Sierra Nevada, and SpaceX, to develop the capabilities to help us to once again launch our astronauts from American soil to the International Space Station. Since then, all 3 companies have set up shop here on the Space Coast. It's time to stop outsourcing that work to foreign countries. It's time to bring those jobs back home. We plan to do just that within the next 4 years. So there's a young man standing right over there who's wondering what in the world is going on here, and may one day be in his place running the Kennedy Space Center, can be very proud that we're launching Americans from here again. SpaceX has already launched 2 successful cargo resupply missions to the ISS from the Space Coast, and Orbital Sciences is preparing to launch its first cargo mission from our Wallops Flight Facility on the eastern shore of Virginia in coming weeks. Our commercial crew partners have all recently announced the completion of important milestones to keep us on track for our capability to launch U.S. astronauts from American soil later this decade. And all of them are on track to complete all of their milestones on schedule. We're also moving forward with plans to repurpose some of our dormant shuttle facilities. Today, we're pleased to announce that we're entering into negotiations with Space Florida to take over operation of the Kennedy Shuttle Landing Facility for use as a combined airport and spaceport. This will continue to expand Kennedy's viability as a multi-user spaceport and continue to strengthen the economic opportunities for Florida and the nation. We look forward to working with Space Florida over the coming months to finalize the details of this transition. All of this demonstrates our commitment and progress in building a strong commercial space industry so that American companies are providing safe, reliable, and cost-effective transportation to and from the International Space Station and other low Earth orbit destinations. NASA's investment in commercial space is paying off for the American taxpayer. and it's allowing us to focus on challenges we need to overcome to reach an asteroid in Mars. We're excited about the innovation and resourcefulness of our commercial partners and look forward to many milestones ahead. And now it's my privilege to ask a very good friend of mine, longtime friend of mine, fellow Marine, and the director of the Kennedy Space Center, Bob Cabana, to come up. But I want to say one thing about Bob while he's on his way. You know, there could be anybody running the Kennedy Space Center. I'm not sure anybody could do what Bob has done in the period of time he's been here. This has been very difficult. We all get emotional about it. Kennedy is going through a transition, and it is unlike, I think, the American space program has ever seen before. The transition from Apollo to Apollo, Soyuz, and Skylab, and then to Shuttle took place over a period of time, but that was a transition to low Earth orbit operations. And one that although not very easy because of the vehicle involved, the winged vehicle, but one that was much more easy than what Bob has been encountering here at the Kennedy Space Center. So I want to publicly thank him for everything he's done. It's been awesome. I'm privileged to call him a friend and a colleague, and so Bob Cabana. Thanks.
Oh, thank you, Charlie. Hey, this really is a great weekend to be at the Kennedy Space Center, and I want to thank Charlie for coming down to be a part of this. This announcement that Space Florida is going to take over maintenance, operations, and development of the Shuttle landing facility as part of our transition to a multi-user spaceport is key to our future success. It's really important, and I really appreciate the partnership that we have had with Space Florida and the investments they have made helping us through this transition to bring commercial operations here to the Cape. I think this is absolutely fantastic. We've still got a lot of work to do, but you know, when I look back on the progress that we have made over the past couple of years in this transition, it truly is amazing. Oftentimes we tend to look at where we are and not how far we've come, and we are making huge progress towards becoming what we want to be. We're making it with SLS NTCV and preparing to go explore beyond low Earth orbit. We're making it within the commercial crew program, getting rides for our astronauts to our space station on an American vehicle. And we're making it, bringing jobs here and actually commercializing space and making it happen with our excess capacity. We've got a number of great agreements that we put in place to help lower our maintenance costs, but also to bring jobs and commercialize space operations here at the Cape. And a lot of that has been done through partnership with Space Florida. So I'm really glad all you can be here. I hope that you get a chance to get over and see this fantastic new facility that we have. But more importantly, you know, the future behind us. We have an extremely bright future. We are making it happen. And a lot of it is in the partnerships that we have. They're key to our future success. And one of the major keys has been Space Florida, and I'd like to introduce a fellow Naval Academy graduate. We've got three of us up here. Jim Kuzma, retired Navy captain with Space Florida, and he has a few words he'd like to say. Thank you.
Well, good afternoon, Mr. Bolden and Bob. On behalf of the governor and Frank Bell, we appreciate not only the trust to internegotiate with three operations of the Shuttle landing facility, but all the other partnerships we have. And truly, your staff has been tremendous in negotiating and working with us to achieve the goal of bringing more information to core business and commercial business to the Space Coast. We look forward to enhancing and facilitating new and emerging suborbital launch providers, unmanned systems, as well as other aerospace development companies here. And truly, Bob, as you talked about, we're all looking to use it as development, and with your team, sir, we look forward to doing it very near future. So thank you very much.